Hey there, everyone. The doctor is in.
And so is a tired pierogi.
And we're about to wrap up the Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Turnabout Serenade. Oh, seriously? Well, too bad. We're starting the software anyway. Excuse me.
You're excused.
Alright. Well, this is it. Today's the day it all goes down. And then there was yesterday. This meeting is over. Sorry. Just give us 5 more minutes. We can call them back after that. Sorry, no go. Come on, piano boy, we're leaving. Darian, wait! I never liked you. Either of you. Huh? Darn it, we were so close. He was about to tell us. Hey, Apollo? He didn't want us to hear what Maki had to say. And I think I know why. Time to bring down a little justice. What was that? Is heard but unseen. Who's that talking? Valid grammary. I exclaimed as he walked in through the door, normally.
Darn, and here I was thinking it was Francisca.
No, it wouldn't be a bang, it would be a...
That's fair. Touche.
You aren't the witness today, are you, Uncle Valent? A preposterous proposition. How could I stand to stand upon the stand? Why, my secrets would be free for the plucking. I might even have to sign autographs. That is why I intend to remain hidden for the entire day. Ooh, with vanishing magic? Indeed, I will jump upon an express train and express myself to the next town over. Before I go, a word of warning. Warning? What? The grand grammary glamour resides at the root of all that has happened. Do not forget this truth. A glamour? A spell, a sorcery, a great illusion. Miss Trucy, though it pains me to part so, I need to get in line for a ticket. Farewell! And there he goes. He sure seemed happy about that illusion thing. Oh, big illusions are the bread and butter of a magician. You can't pull off a show without one. The big illusion is always a spectacle to remember. Usually it involves cutting up things like people or elephants. Or the Eiffel Tower. Anything, really. So he was talking about what we saw at the concert. Lamarar's disappearing act. And Prosecutor Gavin's exploding guitar. Wonder what he meant by it being at the root of all that has happened. Well, it's about time. Shall we go? Excuse me, sir. Yes? The scheduled starting time for the trial has been changed. The trial will not be commencing until 10:30 a.m. Sorry for the inconvenience. Huh? Did something happen? This is a first. It was by the judge's request. Some urgent personal business. Great. Bet he stayed up too late last night watching courtroom dramas. Apparently, he's visiting the hospital again. The hospital? I believe it was mentioned that the Chief Justice's son is unwell. Apparently, his condition worsened considerably this morning. The Chief Justice's son.
Oh, that's right. Remember yesterday morning? The judge said he had to go visit him after the trial.
There's an article about it in the newspaper, if you care to read about it yourself. Incuritis syndrome, first case in country. Incuritis? Where have I heard that before?
I'll let you read that article for us, Apollo. Just leave the TV guide page to me.
Try not to lose the page with the funnies if you can. My apologies for the delay. Court is now in session for the trial of... how do you say this name again? Maki Tobai, our suspect fortissimo. Right. It's his trial in any case. The defense is prepared, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready to rock. Is something wrong, Your Honor? No. Well, yes. It's just, I've been friends with the Chief Justice since we were students. It pains me to see him going through such a difficult time.
Incuritis, was it? That article said there's no known cure. Let's take a look at the details, shall we? Oh, it's just Incuritis syndrome, first case in country. Disease strikes closer to home than ever before.
Isn't that the disease from, Virginia?
It is not a disease from Borginia, but there is something Borginian related to the disease. Namely this. Yeah.
Herr Judge, let me say with all honesty I feel your pain. But now is not the time for tears. Now is the time for law. Indeed. We left off at quite the juncture yesterday.
I asked Interpol about that number, IPXX314206. The agent registered under this number was Romain Latouche.
Thanks for looking into that for us, Detective Crescend. It's a great help.
Oh, no problem at all, Your Honor. I'll be heading out. Wait! That voice just now. It was him. I am sure of it.
It was him?
That voice I heard talking to Mr. Latouche when I heard the gunshots fired. It was him. It was Mr. Darien.
No way. Quite a sensational ending. Who would have thought Darien would guest star in the season cliffhanger as a suspect? I asked the prosecution to look into this matter. Please tell the court your findings. Darien Crescend is a member of my band, the Governors. He is also a detective, making the current charges serious indeed. Yet after investigation, I have found no cause to alter our case or file new charges. And your reason is? Aren't you aware, Herr Forehead? He has an impeccable alibi. An alibi? Let us review the facts again, shall we? The concert held on the night of the shooting was in 3 sets. The Governors ripped up the stage during the first set. For the second set, our guests took center stage. The only performers appearing were myself, Lamrar, and Maki, along with a drummer and bassist for a total of 5. The shooting in the dressing room, however, took place during the third set. Lamrar and the defendant Maki Tobai had left the stage at that point. And the Governors were already rocking. This is when 2 shots rang out at the scene of the crime. Shots heard by Detective Emma Skye, mind you.
And Apollo, you heard them too, right?
I sure did. Furthermore, Lamrar himself witnessed the moment of the crime. Well, perhaps I should say she heard the moment of the crime. Then she claims to have heard Mr. Latouche and Detective Crescend talking. But that's impossible. Detective Crescend was... Precisely. Detective Crescend was on stage, getting his groove on, no less. Voila! A perfect alibi!
No, not perfect.
Does the defense have anything to add to this? It's true, when I heard those gunshots, he must have been on stage. Still, there's something here that doesn't quite add up. It appears the defense has no objections. I believe we can safely say that Darian Crescen's alibi has been acknowledged. Which means that Lamoureux was sadly mistaken. Her testimony cannot be true. Very well. Of course, if we disregard her testimony, then I see no evidence keeping us from declaring a verdict. If indeed there are no objections.
Oh, Apollo, if he declares a verdict now...
But Prosecutor Gavin's case is airtight. Lamoureux might have been trying to protect Maki. How can I rely on her testimony? Wait, what about yesterday in the detention center?
About the case. What about the case?
He wants to tell us about Mr. Latusse's death? This meeting's over.
Darian?
Maki was trying to tell us something. I know it. Maybe the best thing to do is ask him, under oath. Very well, the court finds the defendant... what was his name again? Your Honor! No, that wasn't it. It was something like Marquis or... Mr. Justice? Your Honor, before you declare a verdict, I would like to call another witness. Exactly who else do you need to hear from? A witness who, until now, has not been given a chance to speak in this court. Because he doesn't speak English. You don't mean... I do. The defense calls defendant Maki Tobai to the stand. What? But he doesn't speak English. We'll use an interpreter. Interpreter? I'm afraid you'll have to look elsewhere. I only speak a few phrases, such as I love you and there's the toilet. The defense would like to request Lamoureux as the interpreter. Lamoureux? But there's a possibility she's protecting the defendant. But she'd be interpreting for the defendant. Why would she lie? This is most unusual. Bravo, Herr Forehead. Herr Judge, the prosecution agrees with the defense's request. If Lamoureux lies, I'll be able to tell. Even my limited knowledge of the language should be enough as that. Well, if both prosecution and defense are for this, I see little cause for refusal. Finally, some progress. Bailiff, please show the defendant and Lamoureux to the witness stand. I suppose there is a first time for everything. Shall we proceed? Your name to begin this. If you would, Lamoureux.
Yes. He says Maki Tobai, the defendant.
This is certainly a first for this courtroom. Not that we really needed an interpretation of that message in particular. So far, so good. Very well, Mr. Justice, if you would. Huh? If I would what, Your Honor? Would what? You called the defendant to the stand, did you not? What would you have him testify about? What do I want him to testify about? I hadn't thought that far yet.
Apollo! Aren't you going to ask him what he was about to tell us yesterday?
How can I if I don't know what he was saying?
Excuse me a moment, if I might speak.
Yes, Lamoureux.
Just now, Maki said there was something about which he wishes to testify.
Maki wants to testify about something? What could it be? What sort of testimony is he talking about?
One moment, please.
The suspense is killing me.
What?
What? Oh, well, Lamoureux?
According to Maki, he has proof of his innocence.
What? This is a surprise.
Yahoo! Victory, Apollo! We did it!
This is sounding too good to believe. And I know what that usually means. Well, if that's true, then this is vital testimony. Maki, please testify to the court.
Very well. He says that word of Mr. Latusse's death came as a great shock. But if the killing truly followed the lyrics of my song, he could not have done it. He says that because the lyrics are in English, he does not understand them.
That's actually a good point.
I see. He wouldn't have understood the English lyrics of the song. That would prevent him from following them so closely.
I wondered what he meant by proof. Why, he would only have to ask Lamoire to know the meaning of that song.
Lamoire, did you ever explain the lyrics of that song to him?
I did tell him generally what the song was about, but never in so much detail, and he never asked. Has my oft-repeated warning already fled that forehead? Lamoire might be protecting the witness.
Well, anyway, let us proceed with the cross-examination. Mr. Justice, if you would. Yes, Your Honor. Something's hidden in that testimony, I know it. I'll just have to trust my bracelet to tell me where. Worked yesterday, it'll work today.
He says that word of Mr. Letus's death came as a great shock. But if the killing truly followed the lyrics of my song, I, that is he, could not have done it. He says that because the lyrics are in English, he does not understand them. He says that because the lyrics are in English...
Gotcha!
Maki, you can't fool my eyes. You glanced toward her the very moment Lamoire said the word English. Why? And don't bother interpreting that, he understands me. Maki, tell the truth. You can understand English, can't you?
What are you saying? Of course he can't.
Must he continue this charade?
Mr. Justice, Maki says this. I know the word English.
Huh?
Before coming to this country, he heard me speaking English. He learned the name for this language, that is all.
What? Give me a break!
Is that such an unusual word to understand? Do you not know Espanol, for instance?
Well, yeah, but...
I am sorry, but he truly does not understand your language.
Well, then explain this! How does he know the crime followed the lyrics?
Have you always been such a suspicious-minded lad? It is simple, so simple it hardly requires an explanation. He read about it in the newspaper.
The newspaper?
The Bourguignon Daily Bugle. You can buy it in this country these days, you know. They have already begun to report about this case in our homeland.
I was right.
What is wrong, Mr. Justice? Your eyes are quite fierce all of a sudden.
Maki is lying. Maybe it's time to show them proof that he's lying.
Article about the case does not mention the lyrics of Lamoire's ballad.
Take that!
I have here a Bourguignon newspaper, the Bourguignon Daily Bugle, as a matter of fact. Indeed, there's a feature article about the case. Could you read this for me, Maki? That's right, it doesn't mention the lyrics.
But what? What is this all about?
I'm sorry, Maki. You couldn't have read about the lyrics in a Bourguignon newspaper. What does this mean?
But I don't see how it's possible. I know. He must have heard the lyrics when the police were doing the questioning. Yes.
Not possible, as the subject of the lyrics was not brought up in police questioning. I read the full report myself. So, the lyrics weren't in the newspaper, and the police didn't mention them. The only place you could have heard them was in this courtroom. In English, no less. The witness will explain himself.
Maki says, he says...
Yes?
It is true, I read the newspaper. But this is not where I learned of the lyrics. I was mistaken. Now I remember.
You remember?
He says he heard of the lyrics from me.
What? Is this true, Lamoire?
Yes, I'm afraid I had forgotten it myself.
Then it looks like your forehead's been jumping to conclusions again. It seems so, yes. No. Who's onto something? I know it. I can't let this chance slip away. Time is an issue today. Mr. Justice, are you finished with the cross-examination?
What are you going to do, Apollo?
I'm gonna keep on cross-examining. I better have an angle of attack. Or else. My bracelet's still reacting. Your Honor, please allow me to continue. If you must, you must. Very well. Witness?
I understand. It was I who explains that the crime followed the song. It was I who explained that the crime followed the song. It was I who explained that the crime followed the song. It was I who explained.
Gotcha!
Lamrar, I'm currently cross-examining Maki. Why should you be uncertain?
Me? Uncertain?
Yes, you swallowed the very moment you told the court. It was I who explained.
I see there's little point in trying to hide anything from you.
Lamrar, are you indeed protecting someone?
That is not a question with a simple answer. To tell the truth, I do not believe it myself.
Then allow me to answer for you. Lamrar, you're protecting...
Take that!
Lamrar, you're protecting Maki. That's why you lied and told us that you would explain how the crime followed the song. I don't fault you for trying to help, but this is not the way. Maki, I believe you didn't do it, really. I trust you. But you've lied to us twice. And now you have Lamrar lying on your behalf. If this is gonna work, you have to trust me too. Your two lies cover a simple truth. You understand English. You have to! Witness, is this true? Do you understand English?
Yes, a little only.
What? First he could see, now he could talk. And you did not know about this Lamrar.
No, I did not. It is quite a surprise.
How many secrets is this witness hiding?
This is last.
Maki, could you tell us what really happened?
No shooting. I did no shooting.
So you weren't in the dressing room when I heard those two gunshots, correct? Apparently the answer to that question isn't simple either.
I was in dressing room behind the desk. Manager, he on floor.
Which would be after the shooting, right?
Then there is voice.
Voice?
Voice or voices? Was it you and Emma, Apollo?
So when Maki went into the dressing room, Mr. Latouche had already been shot. And then we came to the door.
Panel high up. I take off. Run away. Run away.
So it was you who escaped through that air vent. As the prosecution has upheld all along, no less. The defendant has admitted to being at the scene. But if he takes this as a confession...
Objection!
No, he's clearly denied that he did it.
I no shooting. Manager on floor. Already on floor.
Objection!
The victim had already been shot, you say. I find that hard to believe. The defendant understood the song lyrics. He was at the scene of the crime. This can only mean one thing. He is the shooter. Does the defendant have anything to say to this?
He's clammed up, Apollo.
And let's ask Mr. Justice. Will you require any further testimony from the witness? Is that it? Is there nothing else I can get him to testify about? Wait, no, of course there is.
What is this cocoon anyway? The cocoon, the silk is a potent cure. A cure? Well, Maki, are you a smuggler? Nazarene. No. He won't tell me.
That cocoon has to have something to do with this. Maki, please, tell us the truth for your own sake.
No more speak. Not to any of you.
So much for your precious trust, forehead. Hey, you were the one who didn't believe him. Regardless, this brings us to an impasse. It does seem that the defense and the defendant are at odds. I doubt we're likely to learn anything more of value should this continue. I see no other course but to declare a 5-minute recess. The defense will work things out with the defendant so that we might proceed.
Apollo Eustace.
That's justice. Better learn how to say it if you ever want to get some.
Believe, I know shooting.
Maki claims Mr. Latouche was already down on the ground when he entered the room.
Maybe it was a trap and he walked right into it? Suddenly, I hear revolver. Close, very close. Then I hear voice.
You heard gunshots?
Yes, it's true. I hear revolver, but only sound.
Wait, you're saying you went into the dressing room and found Mr. Latouche already dead, and then you heard shots? If that's true...
So, you were at the scene of the crime and you heard those shots?
And you escaped through the air vent.
I know. Huh? What do you know? I know if I opening vent, I can leave stage and backstage.
So the vents went to both the stage and the backstage area? Is that what he means?
Hey, he's right. Look, Apollo.
Huh? Yeah. But how did you know it was connected like that?
Wait, I bet his father was the architect that designed the hall or something. I hear this from magician.
Magician?
Don't look at me!
Magician, huh?
Well, at least we're clear on one thing. Maki didn't shoot Mr. Latouche.
Yeah, but what does that leave us with? We're supposed to say he went into the room to find the body and then he heard the shots? That one's gonna go over well in court. Not.
Apollo, you're his defense. You're supposed to believe in whatever he says, even lies. That's what Daddy always told me.
I'll just pretend you misheard him. Every time. So, what do we do?
You're sure you won't testify, Maki? No talking, no. Well, it was worth a shot.
That cocoon.
I can't go home. Can't go home? I can't go home to Virginia. I do not want to go home. The penalty for taking a cocoon from Virginia is death.
That's right, it's punishable by death. Of course he's scared. Oh, well, I guess we'll have to try a different approach.
That's the spirit, Apollo. So, what's your plan?
If Maki won't testify about it, we'll have to get someone else to testify.
Someone else?
I think we're out of time. Let's get back in there.
Right.
Court is now back in session. Mr. Justice, have you sorted things out with the defendant? Yes, Your Honor. We had a good talk. Very well. So, will he testify? Your Honor, the defendant will not testify. What? Shame. And here I thought this was your big chance to turn the case around. Actually, it is. The defense would like to approach this case from a different angle, Your Honor. A different angle? If Maki won't testify, then I know who will. I would like to cross-examine the witness in this case. Lamrar. Lamrar!
Objection!
What are you up to now? I thought we determined yesterday that Lamrar's testimony was insubstantial. There's nothing you can... Lamrar was taken to the hospital yesterday with injuries. What happened? She was assaulted, Your Honor. Assaulted? Someone wanted Lamrar dead. Thankfully, she was able to save herself. What? I've had no such reports. Prosecutor Gavin? Why would anyone be out to kill Lamrar? Can you think of a reason? Well, think of how she's known in our country. A singer from overseas who doesn't speak English, yes? Yet someone tried to keep her mouth shut. Who could that have been? You don't think? I do. It was the same person who shot Mr. Latouche. The killer was afraid of her, afraid of what she might say. The defense believes that something was hidden in her testimony yesterday. Something that the killer doesn't want getting out. So am I to understand that this is what you're saying? Namely, that there was a nugget of truth in Lamrar's testimony. A nugget we have yet to uncover. Exactly. If Lamrar was attacked, this has serious implications. Very well. There were some vague points in her testimony during yesterday's trial. Perhaps we did not inquire as deeply as we might have into some. The court will hear Lamrar's testimony once more.
Lamrar, I must apologize. We must ask you to stand again and speak. You need not apologize. I know that Maki is innocent. And I will do all that I can until the court realizes this.
Let's review your testimony from yesterday. You told us you heard 2 gunshots and the shooter's voice through the window, and that the voice belonged to Darian Crescend, yes?
That is correct. At which point I proved she could not be correct. She couldn't have heard any of those things. The small window at the scene was closed and was found to be quite soundproof.
You have nothing to say to that, Mr. Justice? I don't know exactly what yet, but I do know there's something there.
As there is, it seems, much you do not know.
And yet it is my duty to hear him out. Perhaps the witness would be so kind as to testify once more to the court.
Of course, Your Honor. I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. That's when I heard them, Mr. Latouche and the detective. I heard the faint sound of a gunshot and stopped. Then I heard another gunshot. There was the smell of gunpowder. I knew I must tell someone, but I was in a hurry, so I kept moving past the small window.
Smell of gunpowder, huh? Now, call me crazy, but if you can't hear something because the window is closed, what does that say for smells?
Must have been a really strong smell.
Yeah, but smells, basically, in order for sound not to travel through something, it has to be airtight.
So maybe the window wasn't airtight.
Because in order for a smell to pass through something, it really has to not be airtight.
Also, I really want to say to Prosecutor Gavin, up yours.
Why?
I don't know. He gets really snobbish, and then I just want to plant my foot somewhere that's not exactly family friendly.
Okay, then.
He just really annoys me, okay? I get where Emma's coming from when she's calling him a glimmerous fop.
Fair.
I really get it now.
Pretty much the same as yesterday's testimony.
I'm sorry. I am not used to speaking much in this language. Perhaps my descriptions are lacking in some way. Yet everything I have said here is the truth.
Then it is my distinct displeasure to say this. What you have said to have happened is impossible. Do I have to repeat myself? Lamrar was attacked because of this testimony. What, Trucy?
Apollo, for a moment there,
You were pretty cool.
Maybe I do better when I don't try to think ahead. Very well, Mr. Justice. Perhaps you can coolly cross-examine the witness?
I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit.
Hold it!
Is something wrong?
I know I said hold it. She's saying the same thing she said before. Mr. Justice? Sorry, it's nothing. Please continue with your testimony. Now I know what they mean about the reckless youth these days.
The one in red over there is a shining example, Herr Judge.
You're the last person you should be pointing fingers, Mr. Rockstar.
That's when I heard them, Mr. Letus and the detective. I heard the faint sound of a gunshot and stopped. Then I heard another gunshot. There was a smell of gunpowder. I knew I must tell someone, but...
Hold it!
Why didn't you tell someone immediately?
Well,
If it were me, I would have gone to the police right away. It's our duty as citizens.
This may be besides the point, but Lemuel isn't a citizen. So one would hope such common sense prevails in Borgini as well.
Lamar seems awfully quiet all of a sudden.
Strange. Could she be hiding something?
It is as you say, yet at the time... I was in a hurry, so I kept moving past this small window.
Smell of gunpowder.
I heard the faint sound of a gunshot and then stopped. Then I heard another gunshot.
Hold it!
There were 2 gunshots.
Yes, I had 2. One after the other.
That fits with the bullet holes at the scene. Nothing really new here to pick up.
That's when I heard them, Mr. Letus and the detective.
Darian Crescend?
I did not know his name at the time. But yes, it was him, the one who took the stand yesterday.
How many times do I need to remind you that's impossible? There's no way you could have heard him. Because the window with the scene was closed? Is that why? Of course.
Apollo, if we keep asking the same questions as yesterday, we won't get anywhere.
She's right. Maybe there's a different angle I can try. Did you hear anything else at the time?
Anything else?
Anything else besides the victim and the shooter's conversation? Anything at all? That's quite the vague question.
Other than the conversation, I heard the clock ticking, the 2 men breathing, footsteps. That is all.
Nothing new there, as expected. I was hoping for a little more than that. Perhaps we should just carry on with the cross-examination.
As you wish.
Hold it!
Alright, let's see. Maybe if we ask...
What were they talking about? Lamroy, do you by any chance remember what they were saying to each other? If so, please tell us.
I have given it much reflection, but
I was afraid that she doesn't remember.
I only heard one phrase clearly.
A whole phrase? You remember something that was said? Why didn't you say anything yesterday?
So my memory is clear, I was afraid to speak. You see, I do not understand what was said.
This could be it, the clue I've been waiting for. What did he say?
It was the other man speaking, not Mr. Letus.
The shooter, then. Darian Crescend. Well, what did he say?
It's over. Press the switch. Now.
Switch? And the shooter said this to the victim, Mr. Letus.
I thought it quite strange myself afterwards.
It is a mystery. What could it possibly mean? Mr. Justice, care to shed some light on this? I mean, sure. I'd be delighted. It's very, very vital. Maybe we could add that to the testimony.
Maybe, Apollo? From the small window, I heard a voice saying, "Press the switch, now."
Hold it!
And it was Detective Darian Crescend's voice.
Yes, I'm sure of it.
It's over. Press the switch. Why would he say that to Mr. Letus?
Apollo! The murder weapon, the revolver, was Mr. Letus's, right?
Yeah? What of it?
Well, maybe when he said press the switch, he really meant to say pull the trigger. Because his English isn't so good.
Darian Crescend is a native speaker!
Oh, right. Sorry, I kind of forgot who was what.
Press the switch. It's not something a killer usually says to their victim, is it? Was there no one else in the room?
I do not know. All I heard was Mr. Letus and the detective.
I hate to do this, because this is not a contradiction at all. But I get the feeling that they want me to present the remote trigger here, because that's the only thing I can think of that has a switch.
Objection!
Yep. Yep. Not a contradiction.
Press the switch. There's only one key that can unlock the mystery of those words. Oh? Yet there was nothing at the scene that could be called a switch. Saves the lights. True, there wasn't a switch at the scene. But it just so happens, I have a switch right here. That certainly does look like a switch, doesn't it? Problem is, this was found not at the scene of the crime, but on the stage. The stage? Where the concert was held, yes. This was found hidden there. On the stage. Are you claiming that the voice Lamour heard was of someone commanding another to press this switch? It's a possibility.
Objection!
Oh, Herr Forehead, I'd call that an impossibility. Why? It's hardly necessary for me to remind the court of the layout of the concert forum. The stage is quite far from Lamour's dressing room. Not to mention that the Gabiners were in the middle of a concert on said stage. They aren't known for being a quiet band. You could shout all you wanted and not be heard.
The detective's voice was loud, but certainly not a shout.
So, too, have Herr Forehead's cries of possibility fallen far short of being heard. Sorry, but he wouldn't have needed to shout. Excuse me? You heard what I said, or do you need me to shout it out for you? It would have been quite simple to be heard on the stage from that dressing room. Oh wait, you like evidence, don't you? How about this? Using this, it would be easy to get a message to someone on stage from the dressing room.
Take that!
Prosecutor Gavin, perhaps you're familiar with this. Oh, why is that? What is it? Is it some kind of newfangled phone they invented while I wasn't looking? This is a type of transmitter, a communications device. Communications device? From what I've heard, that night everyone on stage was wearing one of these. Isn't that right, Prosecutor Gavin? Yes, actually. It's for talking between band members. We all had one on. So you admit that if you were wearing one of these, talking from the backstage to the stage would be simple.
Objection!
True, but wait, so send out an electronic signal. To avoid interference with the audio systems, our range is quite limited.
Lamour said it was about 30 feet, right?
Look at this cross-section diagram of the concert forum. Ah. Exactly. To walk from the stage to the backstage seems far, but the direct distance is less than 30 feet. That can't be! So when Lamour heard the shooter's voice, he could have been talking to someone on stage.
Objection!
Huh, you're claiming this is a switch in question. Why did it have to be on the stage at the time? It could be placed in a pocket and carried anywhere. Someone could have hid it on the stage after the fact.
Hey, he's got a point. How do we know where it was when she heard the voice? When the shooter said, press the switch.
Well, I guess we don't. Unfortunate situation. I'm afraid that until we know where the switch was, there's little point in debating it. Ugh. Are we sure that this was the way to go with this? What is a switch, anyway? We don't even know that basic fact. Wait a second. I do know what this switch is. And if you follow that train of logic to its incredible conclusion, it ends up in proof that completely changes this case.
What's up, Apollo? Apollo?
We know about this switch, right? We know what it is.
Yeah?
Well, think of when it was used that day. Think of what happened. Well, Mr. Justice, you have no further information to share concerning this switch. Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Justice. I've been remiss in not telling the court this before. I know what this switch is. Well, it seems the defense is set upon linking the switch to the case. Let's see your evidence of the link. What evidence do you have to explain what this switch is?
Take that!
Prosecutor Gavin, you remember this? Ah, that's... That what? Is it another one of those newfangled phones? This is an igniter. What phone looks like this? Igniter? You mean it's like a lighter? Yes, actually. You aren't saying this switch is a remote. I am. This is a remote trigger for an igniter. What? Look, I'll show you. Mr. Justice, you will cease and desist from burning down this courtroom. Sorry. That was a bit more fire than I expected. My whiskers are caught on fire.
Oh, what a shame.
Prosecutor Gavin, let me repeat myself. This switch is a remote igniter trigger. Doesn't that suggest something to you? You're talking about what happened to me, aren't you?
Yeah.
Exactly. That night at the concert, there was one unusual burst of flame. When your guitar caught fire in the middle of your performance. Isn't that part of the stage show, though? Prosecutor Gavin was entirely unaware such a thing had been planned, and the guitar that burned was a valuable keepsake.
That's right. He got it in Virginia from Lamoureux. He said the sound was amazing. Before it burned, of course. Now it just kind of smokes.
That's a burn if I ever heard one.
The better the guitar, the brighter it burns. Her forehead. Yes? Don't tell me you're trying to tie these two things together. Those being the shooter's voice heard by Lamoureux, and the guitar suddenly catching on fire. I am. It's really simple when you think about it. Mr. Latouche and the shooter were at the crime scene. The shooter was wearing a headset. He ordered someone on stage to press the switch. The switch was pressed and the guitar caught fire. Well, it does seem to make sense. Something about it is bugging me. Can't quite put my finger on it. Really? Seems pretty simple to me.
Objection!
Herr Forehead, don't destroy what little respect I have for you. I was expecting something a little more sensible. I guess I was wrong. What's this all about, Prosecutor Gavin? His simple story simply makes no sense. Think, that night my guitar caught fire, yes? The cause may have been this, indeed. However, the guitar caught fire during the second set.
Ah, that's right, of course. Guitar caught fire during Lamoureux's song.
Indeed, yet the shooting happened during the third set. The two are utterly unrelated.
What if they're not? What about this disappearing act she pulled?
Yes, that must have been what was bugging me. The whole premise for this is faulty. See, his story makes no sense.
Objection!
Are you sure about that? What exactly do you mean, Mr. Justice? Maybe it's not the premise for my explanation of the switch that's at fault. Maybe it's our premise for the entire case so far. What premise is this, specifically? I'm glad you asked. I'm saying that maybe the killing didn't take place in the third act.
Objection!
What's this? But Detective Emma Skyhead shot and found the body. All of this happened in the third act.
Objection!
Gunshots rang out, and according to his testimony, Maki was in that dressing room at the time. Where are you going with this, Mr. Justice? Stay with me, Your Honor. He also told us this in his testimony. Namely, that the victim had already been shot. We all heard gunshots, but no one saw the shooting. This is insane! Just before the shooting took place, the shooter was heard on his headset, telling someone to press the switch. The next moment, Prosecutor Gavin's guitar burst into flame. We know that a remote-triggered igniter was inside the guitar. From all these facts, we can draw only one conclusion. The crime did not take place during the third act, but during the ballad performance, the second act. What? Order! But that goes against the evidence. What does, Your Honor? This crime was carried out according to the lyrics of that song, yes?
Hey, he's right, look. The bullet is supposed to come after the fire.
You're thinking about it the wrong way.
Huh?
Look, Why would the shooter craft the events of the day to follow the lyrics anyway? It's an awful lot of trouble to go through, with little merit for the person doing it. Well, I'm sure whoever it was had some reason. Yes, they did. A reason that made it advantageous to follow the lyrics. You're saying the order was reversed on purpose. Reversed, Prosecutor Gavin. If the criminal followed the lyrics strictly, then yes. The shooting would have had to come after the guitar burst into flame. Yet her forehead has raised another possibility. He's claiming that the bullets came not after, but just before the fire. Couldn't have put it better myself. We were only meant to think that the shooting came after the guitar burst into flame. That was the criminal's objective. The crime followed the lyrics to a point, but that was the ruse. Why else would the killer risk discovery by moving the body? That was the final touch to make us think he'd follow the lyrics the whole way. Order, order, order! That would explain this most unusual situation. It does. The killer changed the order of events to create himself an alibi. In other words, the killer was someone who had an alibi for the third step, but not the second.
Objection!
I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but sadly, it has. Let me tell you why your little fairy tale makes no sense at all. Oh, it sounds good, I'll give you that. You've given us a reason why the killer bothered following the lyrics of my song. But I question your logic, for it's flawed from the very beginning. Flawed? Yes, a contradiction here, Forehead. One I've pointed out several times, no less. At the time of the crime, the small window at the scene was closed. How could Lamroir have heard a voice through it? Oh. I know that you would like to divert our attention from this critical fact, but you're basing your entire line of reasoning on a false premise. Right. Lamroir's testimony is my entire case. That voice she heard, the shooter's voice.
What if she couldn't hear it, Apollo?
Look, what we have, a man saying press the switch. And near the crime scene we have a switch, which acts as a remote trigger for an igniter. And last but not least, Prosecutor Gavin's flaming guitar. Can't all be coincidence, but how do I make it work? I see a more direct line of questioning is required. Once the crime scene was investigated immediately after the crime, that window was closed. Care to tell us how Lamroir heard the voice?
Maybe it wasn't closed.
Or maybe y'all are missing something very,
She was in the vents.
No, she couldn't have been in the vent. She doesn't fit.
She didn't fit.
Yeah, but the thing is, the thing that explains who the person was talking to was the same thing that explains how she heard it.
I'm gonna be very dumb and ask how. Like,
Where did we find this?
the stage? No, dressing room.
It was in the hallway by the dressing room.
Yeah.
So,
Get half points.
so whose is this?
Lamars.
That's a very good possibility, ain't it? And it would explain how she heard the voice.
A key point to be sure. Mr. Justice, can you explain this to the court? Okay, Justice, you've got one thing to prove and one thing only. Lamroir heard a voice, and she heard it during the second set. Think, how was Lamroir able to hear the voice?
She has divine hearing. The window was open, or she was somewhere else. She was somewhere else.
When we investigated the scene, the window was closed. The shooter had no reason to close it had it been open either, meaning it was impossible to hear the voice through that window. Ah, it's good to hear you making sense again. For a moment I was afraid you might be a Borginian too.
That's racist. Ding!
As I was saying, Lamroir could not hear the voice through that window. So there can only be one explanation. She heard the voice from another location entirely. What's this? You had to amuse me so. And here I thought you and Good Sense were back on speaking terms. Now I'm afraid you and Good Sense speak two entirely different languages. Shall I interpret for you, Herr Forehead? Lamrar clearly stated she heard a voice through that small window. And there's only one small window at the scene. Are you sure? Think about it. Isn't there another small window at the scene?
There is?
I know that look. He wants us to ask him. Very well, you claim Lamrar heard the voice from another location? Mr. Justice, show us where this location was. Lamrar heard the voice from here.
Take that!
This is where Lamrar heard that voice from. But that's no small window, that's the air vent! What did she tell us? She said she's a Virginian, unfamiliar with our language. It's not a stretch to imagine she called this air vent a small window.
Objection!
Now you've done it. You've gone beyond ridiculous and into ludicrous. So Lamrar was up in the ventilation system listening to this man's voice? That's the only logical explanation, yes. Logical! I do not think this word means what you think it means, Herr Forehead.
Shut up, Gavin!
You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
Okay, what about it isn't logical? It hardly merits saying. Why would Lamrar be in the ventilation system? Hiding like a rat. No offense to her, intended to, of course. The explanation for that is simple, Prosecutor Gavin. Isn't it, Lamrar? You've been listening to our discussion here, yes?
Yes. I admit it's had me quite confused since yesterday. Yes, the small window was closed. But why should that mean I could not hear through it? I feel the prosecutor might himself need an interpreter.
Ooh, that's a bird.
The problem here is words. Lamrar, this small window through which you heard the voice. Was it up high on the ceiling of the room? Not low on a wall?
Yes, it was up on the ceiling.
What?!
I thought the whole thing is that Maki's the only one who could have fit in the vent.
Order, I will have order. Witness, you will clarify the statement to the court. Are you in fact saying that you were above the ceiling of the room? And then that's where you heard the moment of the crime?
Yes, in fact, I was. I'm sorry, I never imagined it would become such an important point.
Yes, well, why the heck were you up there? I believe it's time for another testimony.
I'm not sure I can't.
May I remind you that this is a murder trial? We will hear your testimony. Tell us why you witnessed the crime from above the ceiling of that room. Please. Well, looks like I'm on the right track.
Yes, I was above the ceiling when I heard the voice. I had heard there was a small window there before.
Or maybe it's not so much that she can't fit in the air vents, but rather the grate that leads to the air vents wouldn't have let her fit inside. But there was another way in and out. That would fit, I guess.
It was in the middle of my performance. I had no time to report what I had heard. As to why I was there, I cannot say. I am bound to secrecy on this matter.
But bound to secrecy?
In my line of work, one has many obligations to uphold.
But you say you were in the middle of your performance, so this did happen during the second set.
I did not witness the crime, you must understand. I only know what I heard.
Yes, but you must tell us what you were doing in detail.
That's what the cross-examination is for, yeah, Herr Forehead? Our mission in this court is to discern the truth. No obligation, no binding pact may hinder that mission.
Very well. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination.
What are you going to do, Apollo?
I'm gonna find out the truth. She was up above that ceiling for a reason. I just have to get it out of her.
Yes, I was above the ceiling when I heard the voice. I had heard there was a small window there before. It was in the middle of my performance. I had no time to report what I had heard. As to why I was there, I cannot say. I am bound to secrecy on this matter.
Hold it!
Exactly who bound you to secrecy?
I'm not sure I'm allowed to say who it was. No, I think perhaps that is alright. It is just a name after all. It was Valiant Gramarye. Perhaps you know him?
Valiant Gramarye? What?
You mean Uncle Valiant?
What? Valiant Gramarye? Who's Valiant Gramarye?
A grand magician, the one responsible for the illusion performed during our concert.
Interesting reaction, Prosecutor Gavin. Lamroir's bound to secrecy. It's gonna take some hard-hitting proof to make her talk. I think I know why she was up there, but how do I prove it?
Alright, so what do we have here? Alright, maybe...
I had heard there was a small window there before.
Hold it!
By small window, you mean the air vent?
I only remembered I needed to be careful where I put my hands and feet. I cannot see the light coming through the window, of course.
The air vent grate could trip you up, certainly.
So I was walking very carefully when I heard the gunshots. Started, I crouched and listened. That is when I heard his voice coming from the room.
Darian's voice.
I knew something terrible had happened, yet... It was in the middle of my performance. I had no time to report what I had heard.
Hold it!
So without a word, you just let the third set start?
After the curtain closed for the second set, there was still much to do.
You could have prevented this whole misunderstanding if you'd only told us sooner.
Yes, perhaps I could have.
I see little point in badgering the witness. What's done is done. The mind works differently when one is in the middle of a performance. I have lost my voice in the middle of a show and kept on singing, completely unaware. Singing without a voice? Like all contradictions were so obvious. If I could get Lamroir to talk, pressuring her like this doesn't seem to be getting me anywhere.
As to why I was there, I cannot say.
Hold it!
You heard the gunshots during the second set, during your performance. You're quite sure?
Yes, why would I lie about the time?
Why did you tell us this yesterday?
No one asked me. I thought you all knew. I told you Maki was not the killer. I told you this many times.
Yes, you did. You never told us why.
I'm sorry. I was not able to speak of it.
Unable or unwilling?
She's not talking, Apollo. What do we do?
Just have to prove it ourselves. As long as she's bound by this pact of silence, she won't talk. If I can prove why she was up there, she'll have to admit it.
But how are you going to do that? She was singing on the stage, Apollo. She couldn't have been up above the ceiling, too.
Yes, she could. I've got a theory as to why, too. And maybe I've got the evidence to prove it.
Okay. Can't say. And I think now's the time to play the tape.
Objection!
Lamroir, truth be told, the reason for your presence above that ceiling is quite clear. Especially when you consider what happened during your performance.
What happened?
Yes, it's all right here on this video. As we can see, Lamrar was clearly not on stage for her entire performance. Though it saddens me to be so realistic. Lamrar is incapable of actually vanishing, let alone teleportation. So the only explanation is that she was hidden from view. And during that time, she moved to the back of the forum.
Apollo,
What, Trucy?
it's not nice to reveal a magician's secrets, and it's against the rules.
But I'm a lawyer, I'm not supposed to be nice. This is all very fascinating. But how is it possible? There's only 20 seconds between when she disappears and reappears. She couldn't have moved that fast. Is something wrong, Prosecutor Gavin? This was his concert, his show. He knows how the illusion was performed. Aha! He's just realizing his own oversight. Let's look at the cross-section diagram again. Here we can trace a route through the ceiling. It goes from the stage to the backstage to the rear of the forum. Recall Lamarar's testimony from yesterday.
I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. There was something like a little window there. That's how I saw it.
She went from the stage to the backstage exit. Perfect description of this route above the ceiling. Lamarar knew of this because of her part in the illusion, but she wasn't the only one who knew. I thought... Just now in the lobby, Maki told me something.
I know. I know if I open in vent, I can leave stage and backstage.
He said that! Oh, were you not informed, Prosecutor Gavin? I knew about the vanishing act, of course. Yet I had no idea of the routes that would be used. Why didn't that magician tell me?
Magicians only reveal the details of their acts on a need-to-know basis. They're the bread and butter of a magician's life, you know.
That's why he bound Lamarar to secrecy. Well, Lamarar?
I am impressed, Mr. Attorney. Marquis was right about you.
So, what does this mean? Are you saying you used this route above the ceiling?
I did.
Well, that's that, but I'm still a little confused. Why is that, Your Honor? And as I said before... There was very little time between when she disappeared and when she reappeared. 20 seconds, tops. How could she do it so fast? Especially if she stopped to hear the shooter's voice. That's a good question. Can the witness explain this to the court?
I cannot.
Very well, Mr. Justice. Yes? It's all up to you. Do your thing. What thing, Your Honor? You need to explain how Lamarar was able to teleport like she did, or I'm throwing your case out with the bathwater. Ugh. I don't want to get picked on. It's Lamarar who isn't getting along with the program here.
As I have stated before, I am not at liberty to speak of the illusions at night in detail.
And you'll just have to tell us what you can. We'll hear your testimony on this. Mr. Justice, it will be your job to wring the truth out of her.
Yes, if you would, please.
Right. I feel like a student before finals.
Good luck, Apollo. I followed the route exactly as I was instructed. There is an emergency exit in the backstage where our stagehand waited. From there, one can enter the forum on the opposite side from the stage. The plan was for me to move there in 2 minutes. I was on my way when I heard the voice.
2 minutes, you say? The mystery deepens. Suppose it was too much to hope that the judge would come up with something. As does my curiosity. Take it away, Mr. Justice. Right, Your Honor. All I have to do is find the contradiction between what Lamarar is saying and what we can see plainly in the video.
I figured it out already. I am a magician after all.
Well, tell me!
Not a chance. I can't reveal another magician's secrets, come on.
Hey, you're supposed to be on my side here!
You have a there.
Yes, I see that. Hello there, Spider Zed. For whatever reason, the sound effect isn't playing, but the alert is showing. What
I heard
is...
that.
Oh, you heard hello there?
Yeah. You were just speaking over it.
Oh. Well, let me...
I mean, you can play it again.
That's what I was planning on doing here. Hold on.
Hello there.
Okay. Yeah. I just missed it. How are you?
I followed the road exactly as I was instructed.
Hold it!
How did you proceed along this route?
How? Why, I walked.
But you arrived behind the forum much too fast to have been walking. Tell the truth, Lamar. You rode some kind of vehicle. What? A vehicle? What vehicle?
Ah, but a novel idea. I like it.
Hey, that's not a bad guess. Wrong, but not bad.
Haha, yes, laugh at the dumb attorney, I don't mind.
I'm sorry, but the girl is right. That vent was much too small for vehicles. It was a tight fit. Even I had to crouch as I walked. I cannot imagine a vehicle that would fit in such a small space.
Well, I could. A skateboard.
But even then, she would have to be on her stomach on a skateboard.
Yes. If people could do it in World War II in prisoner of war camps, she could do it.
Nani?
Oh, right. You've only seen Chicken Run, not The Great Escape. Okay, never mind. Technically, Ginger was on a roller skate, not a skateboard, but same idea. The idea is you dig a tunnel out of the prisoner of war camp, but you gotta make it very small, so number one, it doesn't cave in on itself, and number two, you have an easier time hiding the dirt that you gotta dig out of the tunnel. So you lie face down on a skateboard or other wheeled platform that's as small as a skateboard, and you roll towards your intended exit. You have not seen Chicken Run 2. I have not either. I've just seen the first one. Doing good. You're broke, but you hope you get paychecks soon. Well, I hope so as well. Paychecks are always good.
If it wasn't a vehicle, what was it? You had me going for a while there, Mr. Justice. Too bad. Ready for the next part? Why do I feel like I'm on some kind of quiz show?
There is an emergency exit in the backstage where our stagehand waited.
Hold it!
Did everyone on the concert staff know about the trick?
Not all, only a few that were needed to help. See, like I said, it's on a need-to-know basis.
So not many people knew about the trick. What were these stagehands required to do?
One needed to open the emergency exit. The door to the stairs is locked, but once through there... From there, one can enter the forum on the opposite side from the stage.
Hold it!
So when you came back out, you were behind the audience.
Yes, that is how it worked.
Not a bad show, if I do say so myself.
That's Uncle Valiant for you, the old grammary touch.
But on the video, you were only gone for 20 seconds. How was that possible? That's the part I don't get either.
Yes, it would be hard to go so far in only 20 seconds. The plan was for me to move there in 2 minutes.
Hold it!
2 minutes?
Yes, it can be done in 1 minute if you're running.
Running? In that cramped, dark tunnel above the ceiling?
Mr. Attorney, have you forgotten? Dark or lit, it makes no difference to me.
Ah, that's true, but... So you're saying that on the night of the concert, you made the trip in 2 minutes?
Yes, so I nearly didn't make it in time. You see, I stopped halfway.
Lamar disappears in the video for 20 seconds, but she says she made the trip in 2 minutes. How?
If you want my professional opinion, I'll bet the answer's right there in that video.
Well, Mr. Justice, perhaps you have some evidence for us. Something that can explain the discrepancy between the video and her testimony. Evidence explaining the discrepancy?
Present evidence.
There's the one piece of evidence that explains this discrepancy between the video and the testimony.
That it's been edited.
Well... I think, if I remember correctly, it's the song lyrics.
Take that!
No.
Ha, so this is it, the magical key to unlocking this illusion's dark secret. Tell us how it works, quickly. I can't bear the suspense. I was kind of hoping someone else would jump in at this point. Well, you see...
Objection!
Yeah, Judge, I do hate to spoil the mood. But I haven't the faintest idea what he's talking about, and neither does he.
I'm a little confused too there, Apollo.
Right, by which I conclude that I was wrong.
Better luck next time, Pollywog.
Mr. Justice, I'm holding you responsible for spoiling my mood. Was that a tear I just saw in the judge's eye? Alright, nothing to do but rethink this through. The key's in the video somewhere, I'm sure of it.
I was on my way when I heard the voice.
The contradiction between Lamorar's testimony and the video. Unraveling an illusion can't be so different from solving a normal case, right?
Sorry, Apollo, I'm not telling. Not even if you make those puppy dog faces.
Fine, fine.
I was on my way when I heard the voice.
Hold it!
And it was Darian's voice you heard.
Yes, I'm certain it was him.
Objection!
A matter best left for later, yeah? Put that forehead of yours to work on this illusion first.
Objection!
Hold on, I think the identity of the killer's a little more important, don't you? Importance schmortens. Objection overruled. Tell us about the illusion.
No use trying to avoid the problem at hand, Apollo.
Trying to avoid the problem. This is a murder trial. The killer is the problem. Contradiction between Lamorar's testimony.
Blah, 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 blah. Alright. Plan was for her to move there in 2 minutes. I think I have... Oh, okay.
Hold it!
2 minutes?
Yes, it can be done in 1 minute if you're running.
Running in that crap...
Yeah, okay, let's just skip ahead to where he's asked about evidence. Alright, there is evidence.
There's one piece of evidence that explains the discrepancy between the video and the testimony.
Take that!
Lamorar, do you happen to remember this brooch? Aha! The brooch! We saw that yesterday, did we not? It was found at the scene, Your Honor.
And you're bringing this up now, why? I thought we had already determined when that was dropped.
So did I, but we hadn't. Take another look at the video. Here you can see she's wearing the brooch. So she is. Let's look a bit later. What? The brooch! It's gone! What? Yes. The brooch disappeared in the short space of 20 seconds. And it takes a full minute to run from the stage to the backstage. Which means there can only be one explanation. The Lamorar we see before the Vanishing Act and the Lamorar we see after are two different people. What? What? The brooch was found on the floor at the crime scene. And not just on the floor, but on the floor directly beneath the air vent. Lamorar, tell me, did you drop the brooch on your way from the stage to the backstage, at the very moment you witnessed the crime?
Yes, I think I did.
Order! Prosecutor Gavin!
From your expression, I gather you had no idea this was the case, Herr Judge. I, of course, knew about it.
What?
Don't get me wrong, I wasn't hiding it, it just never occurred to me that the switch and the shooting took place at the same time.
So I was right? There was a switch?
There was. Just before the stage's tower rose, Lamorar was replaced.
While we're on the subject, just who was this replacement Lamorar?
Why, the man's behind the illusion, Valent Gramarye.
It was Gramarye? That's quite the illusion, but I still don't get one thing.
Yes?
The switch happened before the tower rose, correct? So you weren't on the stage.
That's right.
But this fake Lamorar is still singing. And she's pretty good. That's true.
Come on, Apollo, that's an easy one. They were just playing a recording.
So Calvin aren't some kind of air guitar band, Fräulein.
Oh, you mean I'm wrong?
When we play a show live, we play live. No recordings. Perhaps you can explain, Lamorar?
Very well.
Yes, do tell, and add it to your testimony.
I had to keep singing even while I moved.
Hold it!
You were singing.
Yes, Mr. Gavin expressed a dislike for recordings, so I use this.
Wait, so you were singing this whole time? Even when you were crawling above the ceiling towards backstage?
Why should it matter where I sing whenever I go is the same darkness?
But if you were singing while you were walking...
That's right, wouldn't the shooter and the victim have heard? She was singing right over their heads after all.
That is right.
Are you sure?
It'd have to be pretty hard of hearing to miss someone singing in the ceiling.
Once again, we come back to the state of the scene of the crime.
What state?
I know what he means. That old speaker, Apollo.
The speaker? That speaker was blaring at the time of the murder.
Ah, that's for monitoring the stage from this room. Monitoring? It pipes in a real-time feed from the stage microphones. Useful for knowing when your set is coming up.
Satisfied. That dressing room is fitted with a large speaker playing the direct feed from the stage. At my request, actually. So Lamorar singing in the ceiling sounded just like Lamorar singing over the speaker. And genius, her voice was hidden by her voice.
Ah,
Lamorar?
I had just remembered something.
Do tell.
When I heard the noise, the gunshots, yes, it startled me, so I stopped singing.
What?
I forgot the words I was supposed to sing.
The song stopped?
Thankfully, it was the very beginning of the second verse, so not many would notice.
Foreheads, that mixing board I lent you, where is it? A mixing... huh?
That machine, Apollo, the one that breaks music into tracks.
Oh, this. I completely forgotten about it. I've just been carrying it in my pocket this whole time, or your magic panties, whichever.
Panties of fold, magic panties of folding. That's what they are.
Yeah, basically.
Look at that cat.
It's a good cat. 7 out of 10 loaf.
That's not... I mean... It's a relaxed loaf.
Yeah.
Let's take a listen. The song does stop there. Yeah, it does? I must have missed it. Look at the lyric sheet, and that at the top of the second verse. See where it says pleasure, pleasure? Now listen again. This is evidence indeed. I believe we were guilty of making a terrible mistake. The crime didn't happen during the third set. It happened during the second, during Lamorar's ballad. If that is true, then no one on stage during the second set could have been the shooter. Which means that Darian Crescent could have done it. He wasn't on stage for the second set. Well, Prosecutor Gavin, Fascinating. I don't believe I've ever seen a trial turned around quite so thoroughly. Yet one problem remains. What's that, Prosecutor Gavin? Herr Forehead's theory does have a certain kind of logic to it. Yet it is entirely based upon Lamroy's testimony. Yes, is there a problem with this? Well, it's quite simple, though it pains me to say it. What if she's lying to protect the defendant?
Objection!
But you have no proof. All I'm saying is that the truth is as yet unclear. Until we hear directly from the man himself. The man? You don't mean... Yes. Though he's a friend and band member, Darien Crescent must take the stand. I see no other way. As someone with a new perspective on the case? As a suspect, to be frank. Finally, the rat's coming out of his hole. And I'm ready to catch him. Darien Crescent, get ready for justice. This is as good a time as any to pause for a brief recess. Prosecution will summon the witness. Have him here and ready by the time we begin. I'm the last man who needs to be reminded of what his duties are. Very well, court is adjourned for a 15-minute recess.
That might be a good time for us to take a break too for a bit.
Yes, we will be first save our game, and then we will be back in a few minutes. So enjoy the Be Right Back screen or some ads, whichever you, if you're subscribed, you'll see the Be Right Back screen, otherwise ads. Alright, we're back. Continue. Excuse me.
Apollo, I can't believe it. It really happened during the second act? And right in the middle of Lamar's performance?
The reason why she was in that air vent, and that switch, and the flaming guitar, when you link it all together, that's what you end up with.
I knew you had what it took.
Ah, Daddy!
Mr. Wright, you believed in me?
Not really.
Huh?
I just thought that'd make a cooler entrance than say hiya.
Why do we even bother hoping?
Where have you been lately, Daddy? You haven't been coming to the office at all.
Sorry about that, Trucy. I'm on a secret mission.
Secret? You mean like you're undercover?
Like Mr. Latouche, only shorter and not as well dressed?
Oh no, what if you're shot too, Daddy?
Would I do a thing like that to you? Anyway, I'm off for a while again.
Huh, you're leaving?
Oh, one thing before I go.
What?
Good luck.
Right. Is that all you came to say?
I think you have things pretty much under control. You'll get Makito Bai off the hook, no doubt.
Yeah, but
You're after that detective, aren't you?
Darien Crescend.
Won't be easy proving he did it. Especially not under the current court system.
The current court system?
What did Prosecutor Gavin say during the trial? Your case is based on one fragile assumption. Namely that our diva divine is telling the truth.
What about all the proof? The brooch and the switch?
Piece of jewelry and a lyrical blunder. There are plenty of other ways to explain these things. Flaming guitar, too. All because you lack definitive proof of their connection to the case.
But
The sultry songstress is lying. Your case melts like butter in a frying pan, leaving behind the faintly singed scent of failure.
So what do I do?
Like I said, good luck. Be aware that it'll be impossible to prove his guilt by conventional methods. Ugh. Oh, that reminds me. I have something to give you from our detective friend.
Detective Sky, Emma?
Let's see, this bag of snacks here was meant for me. Ah, here it is.
what are those, Daddy? They don't look like very good snacking material.
They were found at the scene. Analysis of the fragments revealed traces of gunpowder.
Gunpowder?
Probably a firecracker or something similar, like the ones kids are into these days. These fragments were found under the sofa at the scene of the crime, actually.
Under the sofa?
Hey, Apollo! That's where we found that little device thingy.
Right, this. Finally, some evidence that makes sense.
So, question.
Uh-huh.
So, the firecracker fragments, or whatever the fragments were that were given to Apollo, they've been entered into the court record.
Mm-hmm.
So, would you be able to now use that as evidence?
Yes.
So, as long as something's been entered into the court record, you can use it as evidence.
Yeah, if you're concerned about how the evidence law thing in Ace Attorney Case 5 happened, it's completely irrelevant for the entirety of the series, except for that case. So basically, as long as you have it in the court record, you can submit it whenever you want, except for in that particular case where it was relevant to not present things immediately.
Okay. No, I just wanted to make sure I understand that, because I understand that this system is a bit different than our system. And why does the judge have a painting of himself in the courtroom?
Beats me.
I just noticed that. I don't know why. Like, oh look!
That's all from me, I suppose. See you after the verdict. Maybe.
Right.
Every man has an igniter inside him.
Excuse me?
Find Darien Crescend's igniter and set it off.
And he walked out the door, just like a magician, normally.
What does he want us to do? No conventional methods. What does that mean?
Guess we just have to take his advice and hope it makes sense when the time comes.
I guess.
Almost at the finish line. Hang in there, Trucy. Court is now back in session. Prosecutor Gavin, where's Detective Crescend?
In the witness lounge, ready to be called at any time.
Very well.
Might I add, I don't believe any of this. Darian was the first detective I ever worked with. We stopped working together after he moved to Criminal Affairs Division 3. But his guitar playing, it fires my imagination.
That's nice, but it has nothing to do with the matter at hand. Correct?
Oh, I know. Her forehead.
Very well. Call the final witness to the stand. Detective Darian Crescend.
Name and occupation, please.
Darian Crescend, Detective, Criminal Affairs, Division 3. That's the International Affairs Division, for those of you who didn't know. And I'm a guitarist for the Gaviners. Maybe you've heard of us?
Do you fully understand the circumstances under which you stand before us today?
Yeah, I understand, Your Honor. What I don't understand is how you let this happen, partner. You gave me your word I wouldn't be standing here.
The situation's changed, Darian. And don't call me partner.
So much for old friends.
I see what you're doing, Darian. You're pressing the prosecution. Your Honor, if we could begin the trial... Yes, it's high time we did. Let's hear your testimony. You may begin with your response to Lamroy's testimony, if in fact you have anything to say about it.
Oh, I got plenty to say. Lying must be a national pastime in Virginia. And wherever you're from, Mr. Justice. Ha!
Conventional methods are out the window, huh? Here goes nothing.
The diva's lying, plain and simple. She's got nothing to back up her story. In the first place, she never heard my voice. She forgot the words because she heard gunshots? As if. Didn't Detective Emma Skye hear those gunshots during the third set anyway? Shooting took place when I was on stage, man.
So you claim Lamroy's testimony was a lie?
Hey, don't get me wrong, I dig what she's doing, trying to protect that kid. And she's got the court-eating vague statements out of her hand just because she's blind.
You go too far, Darian.
Look, all I'm saying is you've got a reliable witness. Why not listen to the detective?
Detective Skye? I see. Mr. Justice, you may begin to the cross-examination.
You didn't waste any time finding a weak spot. I can't do this with Lamroy's testimony alone. I'll have to find some other way to prove when the shooting took place.
What about that track that has the missed cue?
I think that'll become relevant later.
Okay.
Alright. Didn't Detective Emma Skye hear those gunshots during the third set anyway? Yeah, about that.
Some things were found at the crime scene after yesterday's trial. What things? First was a small device.
That's the remote triggered igniter.
Correct. And one more thing. What are those? The remains of something burnt? Not another guitar, I hope.
Traces of gunpowder were found on these fragments. We have a report that it was something like a firecracker.
How did Gavin know about this?
What, you think Detective Skye works for you?
I received some reports this morning before coming here.
So that's when I made my decision, actually.
What decision is this, Prosecutor Gavin?
I registered Darian as a witness in today's trial.
Just in case. This raises another possibility. Those gunshots-like sound during the third set could have been two firecrackers rigged to go off by remote control.
You got an active imagination, don't you? But you shouldn't say every little thing you think. Your explanation there seems a bit too convenient to me.
How so?
So you're saying these firecrackers just happened to go off? Right when two witnesses came walking by? Ha!
And now I get it.
Get what?
Now I understand why that stupid headpiece was lying on the ground this entire time. He planted it there on purpose so he could hear so he could listen for witnesses.
He's sneaky.
That's right, Darian was out on stage when it happened, Apollo. How would he know someone was backstage right then?
If a firecracker goes off in the forest and there's no one there to hear, you get my drift? Why go through the trouble, man? How do I explain this? He may not look it, but Darian is a gifted detective. Show any weakness and he's sure to find it. He may not look it, partner. Gee, thanks, man.
On the ground by the hall or room? Yes, correct, Spider's Head.
So that reminds me. I happened to pass through that very hallway several times that day myself. And I saw something odd there just before the third set. Something odd? A headset, the kind all the band and staff members are wearing. That's right. We picked this up in front of the door to that dressing room. What if that headset wasn't dropped, but placed? And what if it was turned on? You could hear what was going on in that hallway, even if you were out on stage.
Whose side are you on, Gavin?
Listen to me, Darian. There are no sides in a court of law. Which is why I now turn to you, Hair Forehead. I have a question for you.
Huh? For me?
The igniter and the burnt fragments that were found at the scene of the crime. It's certainly a possibility that they were part of a ruse to fake the sound of gunshots. Throw the headset from the hallway into the mix and you could fabricate an alibi. But we're still no closer to proving anything. Those gunshots might have been real or fake, we can't say. You've raised the possibility that shots heard during the third set were faked. Now you need to prove the other half of the case.
The other half? Look, I'll just tell him.
He wants you to prove the thing went down in the second act, while our little piano player was on stage.
That's right, Gavin?
Indeed, if you can't prove that, then to continue this cross-examination would be pointless.
Well, Mr. Justice, can you prove that the crime took place during the second set? Yeah, I think.
You'd better know, Apollo, otherwise we're through.
It can be proven!
You make it sound like someone else is going to come along and do it for you.
Let's continue with the cross-examination then, shall we? Witness your testimony, if you would.
This isn't gonna be easy. I need some decisive proof and fast.
You ready, kid? 'Cause I am. The shooting took place during the second set? If you're so sure, let's see your proof.
Hold it!
But the gunshots heard during the third set could have been... What, some kind of setup? I've heard that one before.
We need proof, Apollo. We need to prove that the shooting took place during the second set.
If you know how to do that, I'm all ears.
Maybe the gunshots are the key after all.
What do you mean?
Well, Amrar said she heard them, right? Right in the middle of her illusion when she was up above the ceiling.
When she forgot the words of the song, yeah.
If you can prove that the gun was shot right when she missed those lyrics, we're home free, I'd think.
True. Not easy, but true. There's some way to prove that?
Let's take a look through our evidence. Maybe there's something in there.
Hey, aren't you supposed to be cross-examining me? Try to refrain from private discussions during cross-examination, Mr. Justice. Right, Your Honor. Sorry. Just let me take a quick look through the court record.
He's pretty eager to paint Lamorara as a liar, isn't he?
Yeah, because her testimony is basically our entire case.
This is tough. So what do we do?
Got a few ideas. Just need to find another way to prove it didn't happen when he says it did.
Alright. Alright, I'm gonna try presenting the mixing board.
Objection!
It seems there was clear proof left behind. Right here in Lamoire's song.
Her song?
What exactly is this, device thingy? A new variety of gramophone, perhaps?
Come on, we just used this, and don't get me started on gramophone. This device was used to record the performance part by part.
Part?
You move the sliders to adjust the volume. Each instrument is adjustable separately, Lamoire's voice included.
Oh, what does this prove? According to Lamoire's testimony, at the moment of the shooting, she forgot the words to the song.
Ah, you intend to examine that recording at that moment, yeah? We might even hear those gunshots.
Exactly.
Ah, ridiculous. How are you supposed to hear gunshots back in that dressing room out on stage?
Have you forgotten, Darian? We were all wearing these headsets.
Oh.
We were all deeply involved in our performance, and Lamoire's headset would have picked up what she heard all the same.
And let's get to analyzing that recording. Right now.
Lamoire stopped singing when she heard the shots fired. Find that spot and I'll find the gunshots.
Okay, let's see here.
Right there.
Your Honor, listen closely to this part. This is the track with Lamoire's vocals. I did hear something faintly there, yes. Why, it sounded like a gunshot. What? This has to be some kind of mistake.
I believe a case has been made. Gunshots were heard during the second set, which means Lamoire's testimony was true.
Order, so she was telling the truth about what she heard?
It was the other man speaking, not Mr. Letus.
Well, what did he say?
It's over. Press the switch. Now.
Just after that, there was a gunshot, and then the guitar caught on fire.
Detective Crescend, you weren't on stage during the second set. You could have done it!
But why did we only hear one gunshot of the recording? Weren't two bullets fired from this weapon?
Lamoire was moving through the air vent, Your Honor. She must not have been close enough for their mic to catch the first shot. But then as she passed over the dressing room, the gun fired again, and Mr. Letus's life was taken.
Well, Detective Crescend?
Once again I'm reminded of something. Our performance that day.
Your performance?
Seeing the mixing board jogged my memory. You were there too, Herr Forehead. What is it, Mr. Day? Problem after problem. Achtung! My hog won't start, my guitar case is busted, my guitar's been burnt to a crisp, and to top it all off, someone's dead. And then there was a performance just now. What was that all about? This part is off. Which is that, Second guitar? It was you, Darian. I thought it strange at the time. How could you miss such a simple cue? I know you. I know how you play. You're better than that.
Yeah, well,
You what? And Prosecutor Gavin, what are you getting at?
I'm talking about the murder weapon, Mr. Letus's 45 caliber hand cannon. As we have learned, even the shooter doesn't go unscarred with a revolver that size. The kickback is enough to dislocate your shoulder if you're an amateur. Wait. You mean his playing was affected because he hurt himself shooting that revolver?
You're forgetting something.
Yes, Detective Grishend?
I'm a trained police officer, you know. I've had firearms training, plenty of it. I'm no amateur.
The standard, the standard sidearm issued to police officers is a .38 caliber weapon, a much tamer beast. Also, the murder weapon belonged to the victim, Mr. Latouche, which suggests there was a struggle between killer and victim.
So, the killer might not have been holding the revolver correctly when he fired. Is that what you mean?
Just thought it had occurred to me, yes.
Well, does the witness have anything to say to this? Detective Grishend!
What I want to ask is what Mr. Sleeves rolled up ready for action has to say. Hey you, attorney.
Me?
Exactly which piece of your evidence is decisive again? You got a little noise on a tape that could be anything. And you have an alleged guitar cue missed due to a .45 caliber kickback. I weep for this case, Gavin, I really do. You can line up your little weak pieces of evidence all you want. I didn't shoot that manager. That's the obvious truth.
The witness has a point. The defense's arguments, while persuasive, are not decisive. I believe we should hear what the witness has to say in response to the case so far. Your testimony, please, Detective Grishend. Tell us your reasons why you couldn't have done it.
Come on, why would I even want to kill that manager? You want a reason? Easy, I got no motive, man. This was that diva's first trip to the country, right? How could I possibly know her manager? If I didn't know him, why would I want to kill him?
As simple as that cocoon.
A simple reason indeed. Prosecutor Gavin, is it the case that Mr. Latouche had not been to our country before?
According to our records, yes, not even once.
I see. Very well. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination.
Great, now I need to find a motive.
Come on, why would I even want to kill that manager?
Her manager, sure, but Mr. Latouche was...
Oh, right, sorry. An Interpol agent, wasn't he? I just have trouble picturing that big lunk as an undercover cop, you dig? And not a very good one, seeing as how he got wasted.
That's cold, dog.
Not that it matters either way. See, I had no reason to kill the man, whatever he was. You want a reason? Easy. I got no motive, man.
But that's the same for Maki. No motive was proven for him.
Come on, he traveled around the world with that old fart. He had plenty of time to come up with a motive of his own.
Ugh.
More than I sure did. I mean, think about it. It was that diva's first trip to this country, right?
Darian, you're a detective with international affairs?
Yeah, what of it?
Even if this was Mr. Latouche's first trip to this country, you still could have met him prior to the concert.
Huh?
Or don't you take any international trips in international affairs?
That's right. Well, Detective Grishend.
That's your game, is it? Guess I better confess then.
Confess?
Yeah, it's a bit of an embarrassment, but I've never been sent overseas.
What? But you're an international...
See, me and Blaine's got a difference of opinion. We don't like each other much.
My condolences, Herr Forehead, but he's telling the truth. He's never set foot outside the country. I can guarantee it.
As it turns out, my division has plenty of work to do locally as well.
That's so unfair.
How could I possibly know her manager?
So you didn't fraternize with him at all during the concert?
Fraternize? Ha! I don't think we exchanged a single word. As if anyone would want to talk to that old Eastern blockhead. Oh, the ladies, that's a different matter altogether. So, you see? If I didn't know him, why would I want to kill him?
You sure about that?
What? What? Wipe that look off your face before I do it for you. Listen, you try throwing out one of your wild accusations. I'll throw it back at you so hard you forget who you're accusing of what.
Forehead, perhaps it's best if you let your evidence do the talking, yeah?
Man, what evidence? That's what I want to know. So he's using this motive question as an ammunition, huh? Well, I've got ammunition too. Evidence.
Alright. If you didn't know him, why would you want to kill him? Well,
There's this little cocoon of a doozy. Whatever you
Objection!
Your Honor, take a look at this. What's that? Looks like candy. It's not. Don't lick it, please. Detective Crescend, ever seen this?
looks like a piece of candy.
What it is evidence. But don't lick it before you try it. Specifically, this is a replica of a cocoon. It was found among the victim's belongings. A cocoon? Never seen one that color.
It's a variety only found in the Republic of Bourginia. Nowhere else.
Alright, but what is this cocoon replica doing in my courtroom? Surely this has nothing to do with the motive for killing Mr. Latouche, does it? It does! Wait, I mean, I think it does?
You don't sound confident, man.
Cocoon. Is it one of those silky cocoons? The kind that you can make, well, silk out of? Not this one. This cocoon makes a powerful curative. A curative for what?
Apparently, it's most
efficacious.
Thank you. Apparently, it's most efficacious at treating a disease thought incurable. It's the only medicine of its kind. However, it is illegal to take one of these healing cocoons out of Bourginia.
Whatever for? If it's such a miracle cure, why not share it with the world?
Yeah, that's what I've been wondering.
We looked into the matter of some length. Apparently, it isn't difficult at all to manufacture the remedy from the cocoon. Yet, if you change the process only slightly, you can easily make a large quantity of something else entirely. A deadly poison, in fact.
What?
There was an incident several years ago where some of these got out onto the black market. Caused quite a commotion in the global community, so the media was kept largely unaware.
Intriguing.
All this has led on a strict ban on the cocoon's export. One rigidly enforced by Interpol, among others.
Interpol. Right. The victim, Romain Latouche, was an Interpol agent. Detective Crescend, you insist on referring to him as a manager. That's misleading. Romain Latouche wasn't killed as a manager. He was killed as an undercover agent.
So I was trying to smuggle this gumball into the country? That's what you're trying to say?
I'm saying that could well be a motive for murder.
So I was gonna sell it on the black market, make myself a pretty penny? Ridiculous. I mean, totally unthinkable.
Unthinkable, you say? Why? Perhaps it's time for another testimony about this smuggling of cocoons business.
International Affairs got a memo about these cocoons. Interpol's all hot and bothered about them. Can't sell them on the black market, too dangerous.
Hello there.
Hello there, Reeve. Welcome in. How are you? Yeah, cocoon smuggling ain't exactly lucrative anymore. Man, I'm in international affairs. I know the deal.
Indeed. Interpol wanted these cocoons bad enough to send Mr. Latouche undercover.
Absolutely pooped. Ugh, I'm sorry. You kids think of the craziest things. No way am I gonna risk life and limb just to get my hands on some dirty cocoon money.
Not the most noble of statements, but duly noted.
Bit of a headache, too. Oof.
According to reports, these cocoons top Interpol's list. Selling them to an underground organization would be risky.
Very well, you may begin the cross-examination. This is the only motive I've got. He was up to something, and I'm gonna find out what.
International Affairs got a memo about these cocoons.
That memo, that's how you knew about the cocoons.
Oh, nice one, nice one. I'm running scared now.
You had to know about the cocoons to plan this. Just how well known are these cocoons? I'm embarrassed to admit it, but I've never heard of them. Well, Lamrar knew about them, though not their use.
My reports indicate that there are ongoing efforts to control the information about the cocoons. Most people only know they're illegal to export, that's all.
Then I have nothing to be embarrassed about after all.
Yeah, you could say people like me who know about them are minority, yeah. But that includes everyone in international affairs, man. And everyone in Interpol, too, for that matter, yeah. Interpol's all hot and bothered about him.
So there are other Interpol agents like Mr. Latouche?
All over the world, likely. Deep undercover, most of them. That's why these cocoons are too hot for the black market. You don't want Interpol sniffing through your wares. Most came to the conclusion that can't sell them on the black market, too dangerous.
Dangerous?
Yeah, Interpol finds you, they arrest you on the spot. Or another marketeer might think you're part of a sting and take you out himself. Times have changed. Yeah, cocoon smuggling ain't exactly lucrative anymore.
But wouldn't scarcity drive up prices?
Yeah, and attention. Every gangster and his brother would want a piece of that action. They turn your forehead into Swiss cheese before you could say objection.
Maybe we could get them to cut his hair, too.
Who's on trial here again? Man, you so obviously know nothing about the market.
And that's a bad thing?
Don't even try to mess with me about this stuff. And I'm in international affairs. I know the deal.
Which is why you'd know how to find a loophole in the system.
Hey, you can say what you want about me, but back off of international affairs. There ain't no loopholes, okay? What do you think we are, Boy Scouts?
It wasn't what I was trying to... Down, Darian. It is as you say. There are no loopholes, at least in the case of these cocoons. International affairs, Interpol, and Borginian customs are all watching.
See, we know what we're doing. Not like some yipping little doggies that lap up every word that Diva says.
Why, I oughta...
Otto what? You want some of this?
Chill, both of you. Let's do this cool, yeah?
Screw cool. I want this guy's head on a stick.
Replica has to be the key to his motive. There's gotta be a way to find out what he was up to.
And another target for my foot.
I feel like it's the newspaper article that I'm supposed to present. I just have no idea which statement, so I'm just gonna do all of them.
Objection!
Ah, this one works.
Why not choose a less dangerous buyer, then? I would.
How clueless are you? Everyone in the market's dangerous. Second they found out I was a cop, I could kiss my keister goodbye.
Why sell to a black market buyer? How about someone like this?
That article, that's about the Chief Justice's...
Deadly poison can be extracted from the cocoon, but so can a cure. And not a cure for just any disease. A cure for incuritis.
Incuritis? I've heard of that somewhere.
You went to visit a victim of the disease this morning.
Aha! Why, that's the disease that Chief Justice's son has. You weren't saying.
Our witness is a detective. He would have contact with the Chief Justice.
You are saying. Chief Justice would never deal in contraband.
Not even to save his own son's life?
But even if the deal went through, why, it'd be an international scandal.
That's Detective Christian's insurance. If word ever got out, the one with his neck on the line would be the Chief Justice.
Detective Christian, is this true?
First I'm a murderer, now I'm a smuggler? How many crimes are you trying to pin on me anyway?
Distasteful as it is to think about, if the Chief Justice were the buyer, why, the seller couldn't hope for a better deal. Very cowardly seller.
Don't let sleeves over the trick you. So I made a deal with the Chief Justice? Where's your proof?
Well...
Oh yeah, and you're forgetting one other important thing.
Do tell.
Interpol isn't the only ones out there watching this. Virginian Customs barely sleeps. They're so worried about cocoons getting out.
So we were informed. Let's continue with the cross-examination.
Virginian Customs is very thorough. Everything and everyone gets checked.
But they weren't this time.
Actually, there is one way.
What?
One way to get something out of the country, no checks.
What is it?
You become a prosecutor.
A prosecutor? Ah!
I don't believe it. Believe it, Prosecutor Gavin. What was it that you told me yesterday at your office? It was a beautiful instrument. It was played lovingly for many years. A guitar befitting a woman like Lamoire.
How did it end up here?
I mentioned how much I enjoyed playing it that night, and she made a present of it.
So this guitar is from Virginia?
That it is. Couldn't carry it on the plane. Changes in air pressure and humidity ruins the wood. So we vacuum packed it in Lamoire's studio. I use a special shipping service available to me for transporting evidence. They brought it right up to my office for me. Pristine and untouched.
Did I get that right, Prosecutor Gavin? Untouched?
Quite. The guitar was wrapped in several sheets and vacuum packed in Virginia. The pack was untouched until the day of the concert.
You think a guitar was... With cocoons this small, it would have been very easy to use your guitar as a mule to smuggle a cocoon out of Virginia. What? Which reminds me, Prosecutor Gavin, that guitar had some work done on it recently, right?
Work? Good memory, Half-Forehead. Well, you know how guitars have a round hole in the front? It's called a sound hole. Now, they found something attached to the wood just inside the hole. A broken device of some sort.
A broken device?
Yes, this is, in fact.
An igniter.
Exactly. Consider this, if you will. What if that igniter wasn't the only thing that was attached inside your guitar?
You mean...
He means this, of course.
Ah! There was a way to get the cocoon out. There was a way to get a cocoon out of the country. They could use picky Prosecutor Gavin's privileged guitar as a mule. And who better to do that than someone with access, like a member of the band? Yow! Order! 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 So the igniter
Was placed in there for a clear reason, it seems.
It was a safety precaution. Precaution?
Ah, Half-Forehead. At last, it all comes together.
Every strange thing that happened that day. Care to review? Maestro, the gentle sounds of Lamoire's ballad, if you please.
First, my keys were stolen, a harmless misdemeanor, which forced me to break into the lock on my guitar case.
The key was stolen to retrieve the cocoon from the guitar. I see. But things didn't go so well. The smuggler wasn't counting on the guitar being wrapped. Only a member of the band could get near that case. Unwrapping the guitar would raise too many suspicions. Then the concert began. Right about this time, a very large problem presented itself to the smuggler. What's that?
Mr. Latouche.
Huh.
Mr. Latouche, an undercover agent, was onto something. He would have known about the guitar. He'd only have to check the shipping records. So, Mr. Latouche tried to examine the guitar himself.
If the cocoon were confiscated, then the gig would be up. The only thing left was for the smuggler to get rid of the whole lot.
It's over. Press the switch, now!
The guitar burst into flames and the cocoon was lost. And then, Mr. Latouche died.
With Lamoire there to witness it.
There's your case.
And they're gonna need more evidence, though.
Brilliant, man!
Detective Crescend.
I got it now. You make all that up on the fly?
For a made-up story, it makes a great deal of sense, Darian.
The Republic of Virginia? Sorry, man, but I haven't even been there.
True, you haven't.
Let's see you make up a story for that kid. How'd I hide the cocoon in the first place, huh?
It's not so hard to imagine. You had help. A Virginian accomplice. That's all. That you had an accomplice was clear from the start. The voice Lamar heard proves it. It's over. Press the switch, now! You made this transmission from backstage, while your co-conspirator was on stage. But who was it? This is it, the coup de grace. And for once I know what I'm doing. There's only one person who could have helped him. Let's hear what Mr. Justice has to say then. Be warned. With great accusation comes great responsibility.
Okay, Uncle Ben.
Make up your answer on the fly, as it were, and you'll be harshly penalized. Are you ready, Mr. Justice? Who was the smuggler's accomplice?
Take that!
There's only one person who meets all the requirements of the accomplice. And that person is the defendant, Maki Tobai. But Mr. Justice, he's your client! A defense attorney accusing his client? That's a new one! I'm sure you know who's more unhappy about this than I. But I'm here to defend him in the murder of Mr. Latouche. And I stand by my statement earlier that he is innocent of that particular crime. Indeed, the defendant is Virginian. He does meet the basic requirements to be the accomplice. But what if it was, in fact, Lamoureux? It couldn't have been. Well, you seem sure of yourself. The reason is electronic signals, Your Honor. Electronic signals? Recall that this remote only works to a range of 30 feet. Beyond that, it's useless. Yes, that's true. Now think back to the testimony. When the shooter made his transmission, Lamoureux was in the air vent, right above the dressing room where the shooter stood. Let's look at the stage diagram. This is the area that the remote could reach from the air vent. Well, looking at this, it seems that Lamoureux still could have done the deed. No. When the shooter made that transmission, the stage was slightly different than shown here. It was in the middle of the guitar's Serenade. Part of the stage was raised. Prosecutor Gavin and Lamoureux stand-in were in the air. They were on a tower which happens to be 15 feet tall. In other words, the remote couldn't have worked from Lamoureux's position in the air vent. Well, Detective Crescend, what do you say to that?
Your Honor,
Yes, Detective?
could we see the video where Gavin's guitar burns? Just one more time.
Well, I don't see why not.
I feel like they're just gonna want more and more of it.
What? Don't tell me he has a way out of this.
Too bad, so sad, punk.
Punk?
First you were sleeves, then kid, now punk. You're losing rank fast, Apollo.
What exactly were we supposed to see in this video? The problem isn't what we see, correct, Darian?
Right, it's what you hear. We're musicians, after all.
Care to explain for us non-musicians?
Sure thing, punk. Let me get your yarn straight first. You're saying I ordered the weed pea and it's to set off that igniter? Alright?
Yes.
Well, in order to do that, he'd have to press a switch. Am I right?
Okay.
Oh, I know how he could have pressed the switch without actually stopping to play the piano.
How?
It was in the piano!
That it was. Well, take another listen. Pay attention to the piano.
Piano? What seems to be the problem there? The piano sounded just fine.
And that's the problem. Man, you still don't get it? Yeah, how's he supposed to hit that switch if he's playing? You got Miss Diva, the guitar, the bass, the piano, and the drums. The only one with her hands free was the diva.
Amrar.
According to you, she couldn't have been the accomplice, could she? Your accomplice would have had a hard time helping out. They couldn't even press a switch.
Ugh.
Piano plays non-stop. He couldn't press that switch.
Well, Mr. Justice, the piano does seem to be playing when the guitar catches fire. Well,
It's okay, we all make mistakes sometimes.
Apollo, were you wrong?
I can't be wrong. Everything makes perfect sense. How could it all just... Strange. What's strange? No, it's just... Something's odd about the performance there. Odd?
Mr. Justice, if Maki Tobai didn't press that switch, then he could not be the accomplice you claim he is.
But everything points to it. Every fact says he's the accomplice.
You got the facts wrong, man. Here are some facts for you. Gavin's guitar is on fire, but the pianist didn't press that switch. In other words, your story is full of holes.
Mr. Justice, let's hear your final opinion on this matter now. Was the defendant Maki Tobai the accomplice?
Yes.
Your answer will reflect on everything you've said here. Give it some thought.
Apollo, if Maki's not the accomplice, then our whole case is ruined.
I know that. It has to be him. He was the only one who could have helped the smuggler. He had to press that switch.
Well, you better find a way to prove it.
Ugh.
Here, Ev.
What do I do? What do I do?
There has to be something that doesn't fit. Something odd.
Something odd. Wait a second.
What, you thought of something?
What was Gavin saying just now? Strange. What's strange? No, it's just... Something's odd about the performance there. It's not much to go on, but it's all I've got. What exactly did he hear that was odd?
Have you come up with something, Mr. Justice? May I remind you that everything rests on this. Can you prove Maki Tobai pressed that switch? Let's hear your final answer. Can you prove that Maki Tobai pressed that switch?
I don't know if you can call this proof per se, but I can prove it was possible. Then, as prosecutor, it falls to me to ask you to show us evidence supporting this.
You would never ask.
Yeah, forehead, you're sure about this?
Accept it, there's no evidence, man.
Let's see your evidence, Mr. Justice. On what do you base your claim that the defendant pressed that switch?
Take that!
The basis for my claim is music.
Thank you, Reeve.
Your Honor.
Music? What about music?
Let's listen to the piano part around the time when the switch was to be pressed. Right before the guitar burst into flame.
I hear piano being played.
But doesn't it sound kind of simple?
Simple.
I think I know what he's suggesting. Just like Maki could have played that part with one hand.
One hand.
He only needed one hand to press that switch. He could play the piano with the other.
What, so you're some kind of piano savant?
Actually, no.
And what do you know? You can't play a part like that with one hand.
Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about here.
Wait, I know.
Wait, I know. Hey, Trucy.
Yeah, you got something?
Mr. Wright, your father, he's a pianist. Could he?
Oh, Daddy?
He couldn't play a part like that even if he had 3 hands. So sorry, so sad for you.
No, not really.
Huh?
That was just the easy way to prove it. There's always the hard way.
Man, how are you gonna prove whether he played it with one hand or two? You can't!
I admit it'll be rather difficult to prove, but it's highly likely he was playing with one hand.
How do you know that?
The clues were Prosecutor Gavin described as sounding odd.
It sounded odd?
Oh, that we could tell by listening to a certain part of the song.
No way. Well, it seems we've come to the moment of truth at last. Let's hear what Mr. Justice has to say for himself. Show us the part that proves the defendant was playing with one hand, right before the guitar burst into flame.
He was definitely playing one-handed just before the guitar caught fire, and one section of the song proves it.
Right there.
Take that!
Yeah, I was gonna say.
At the end of section 3.
That's the section. I'm afraid I don't hear it. What's your opinion as an artist, Prosecutor Gavin?
It's a beautiful song, and the lyrics are outstanding.
I'll take that to mean there isn't a problem with this section at all.
Wait, so what was the odd thing that Gavin heard? The switch was pressed in the first half of the second verse, right? I know, I just need to find a place to compare to that.
Your Honor, if you'll give me one more chance, I think I can find it. I suppose we don't have a choice. Very well. You claim the defendant was playing with one hand when the switch was pressed. Show us a part that proves it.
He was definitely playing one-handed just before the guitar caught fire, and one section of the song proves it.
So I don't need to prove the part that was wrong. I need to prove the part that was right that proves the part that was wrong.
Yeah, like that makes total sense.
Well, no, it's easy to prove that, so. It's easy to prove that that part sounded off just then, but if I go back to the part 1, I have the evidence that proves what it's supposed to sound like.
So it's the first part that you're supposed to present.
Let me just double check here. Yep.
Prosecutor Gavin, I'm sure you've realized by now just what it was that sounded odd to you. As I'm sure you realized it yourself, Herr Forehead.
Realize what?
I'll demonstrate. Let's listen to the part in question again, shall we? Pay particular attention to the but a fleeting melody phrase.
Man. How many times do we have to listen to the same thing?
You're right, enough of that. Let's listen to another section, shall we?
Another section?
The guitar bursts into flames at the end of the second verse. Let's listen to the same spot at the first verse. Pay attention to "Oh, that night in your embrace."
Play verse 2 again.
There, did you hear that?
They feel the same, true, but they're clearly very different.
What? Well put, Your Honor. The phrase in verse 2 is quite simple, but the same phrase in verse 1 has high and low notes. You'd have to use two hands to play that for sure.
What's that prove?
I would think you'd know that by now.
This is why I hate dealing with amateurs, man. So the two verses had different arrangements. Happens all the time.
Not this time, Darian. There's no point in changing an arrangement if you can't hear it clearly. And that wasn't the point. I had them play specifically so that the piano would stay in the background. Oh. That's what I noticed. Why should the same phrase sound slightly different, I asked myself. Now ask yourselves why Maki changed how he played, and there's only one answer. He needed a free hand in order to press the switch.
Order! I believe this ties all the facts together. Well, Prosecutor Gavin?
Yes, quite. So personally, this comes as a terrible disappointment. What, no comeback? Can't believe it, I finally did it. I shut him up.
Very well, barring an objection for the prosecution, I will now state the court's opinion on this matter.
Good show, Sleeves. No, great show.
It's not over. I don't like it when he looks
So happy.
You tell him, Gavin. Tell him what's so disappointing.
Personally, I'm terribly disappointed. In you, Herr Forehead.
But me?
Yes, don't get me wrong, your case is solid. The facts all check out, but even now, you have yet to show us a single piece of decisive evidence.
Yeah, but the facts, anyone can see it was him. Unfortunately, anyone does not include the law. I'm afraid your case doesn't cut it.
But...
1,000 facts might point towards the same conclusion. But without decisive evidence, it's not proof. That's the rule under our current legal system. I don't believe it! It does not seem as though the defense has any more evidence to present.
Oh, I think if he did, we already would have seen it a long ways back.
It's unfortunate, but at present this court is unable to acknowledge your accusation. What?!
The truth is staring us all right in the face. Why can't they see it? What's the point of a legal system that protects criminals?
Apollo, remember what Daddy said?
It won't be easy proving he did it. Especially not under the current court system.
So what do I do?
Like I said, good luck. And be aware that it'll be impossible to prove his guilt by conventional methods. Every man has an igniter inside him. Find Darian Crescen's igniter and set it off. I wonder what he meant by every man's igniter.
I think he just meant a weak spot, no? Kind of thing that a single spark could turn into a wildfire of emotion. Won't be able to press him further by conventional means. Gotta find a weak spot in this guy, something fatal.
So can I get back to work now or what? May look like I got a lot of time on my hands, but I got no more time to play pretend with this deadweight attorney.
Well, Mr. Justice, we've come this far without decisive evidence. This witness won't be coming back to the stand once we let him go.
Every man has an igniter.
Huh?
Didn't you say the better the guitar, the brighter it burns, Prosecutor Gavin? Ah, yes, good guitars are kept dry is why. That provides the best sound. Even a small spark could cause irreparable damage. Your plan has an igniter in it too, Detective. It was there from the very beginning.
What?
Fighting time, Justice. If you blow this one, it'll be out of your hands for good.
Go for it, Apollo. What, and this igniter's supposed to come burn me up? That's almost poetic there, Mr. Attorney.
All the better. I'm rather fond of poetry. I intend to hear this one through to the very end. Herr Forehead, you're accusing this man Darian Crescent of 2 crimes. The murder of Mr. Latouche and the smuggling of Borginian cocoon. This is your last chance to prove your case.
This trial has already run on for far too long. Mr. Justice, this will be my last warning. The moment this igniter of yours turns out to be a dud is the moment this cross-examination ends. Understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then let's have it. Show us the basis for these accusations against Darian Crescent.
Okay, this is really my last chance. The key that will take apart Darian Crescent's plan is...
A witness.
Your igniter isn't a piece of evidence.
So what is?
It's true that I couldn't show decisive evidence. Perhaps what I needed to prove my case was something else. You mean a witness? Proving his guilt is a tall order. But I've got just the person to do it.
Very well, Mr. Justice. Who is this person who can prove Darian Crescent's guilt?
Take that!
The one person who can prove Darian Crescent's guilt is the defendant, Maki Tobai.
Your client again?
Maki Tobai was an accomplice to the cocoon smuggling plot. Without him, Darian Crescent could not have gotten the cocoon. Furthermore, he can easily prove that the one who plotted to smuggle that cocoon is the real criminal in this case.
How so?
It would require just one of the very cocoons Mr. Latouche was looking for. With the cooperation of the Republic of Virginia, we could burn a cocoon. The burnt cocoon would leave a particular residue. A residue we would, no doubt, also find inside the burnt-out guitar.
Aha! Very scientific of you.
Thus, if Maki Tobai acknowledges his agreement with Darian Crescent concerning the attempted smuggling of Virginia cocoon, the case is solved.
Darian's laughing again. Your unrelenting passion is remarkable. You really want to get me, don't you? Too bad you'll never be able to.
Why not?
Little key tickler won't acknowledge anything. Especially not anything to do with cocoon smuggling.
What's this all about?
Taking a cocoon out of the country means death. By Virginian law.
Yeah, see? If our pianist really was a smuggler, testifying about it would be suicide. Believe me, he's not talking.
But you're wrong, Detective Crescent.
What?
It's the other way around. If Maki doesn't admit to smuggling here, he's in deep trouble.
Huh? How?
Look, if Maki admits to smuggling here, then he'll be tried in our courts by our laws. You don't get the death penalty for smuggling in our country. The victim in this case was an undercover Interpol agent. I'm sure that news has already reached Virginia. And they'll likely broadcast our dealings in court today. Including the part about the Borginian cocoon.
Yeah, but if Maki doesn't admit to smuggling now, he'll eventually be picked up by the Borginian police, and it's not like he's in any danger in our court. We're not gonna find him guilty of murder here, not now. Yeah, but you can't do this. You can't accuse me. Maybe the law doesn't allow it. But who's gonna think you're really innocent after hearing this trial? Same goes for Maki Tobai. The cocoon smuggling, your entire plan, Maki Tobai knows everything. There's only one way out of it for him, and that's to acknowledge his own crime. The crime of cocoon smuggling. Don't worry there. I'll get you out of the country. I'll set you up someplace. A hidden mansion? Real nice. You want a house made out of cookies? Or, no, a house made out of pianos. Come on. Please! Don't say!
Dude, that's some wild hair flinging there.
House made out of pianos, don't say it in front of Mario. Oh my god. Goodness. Darian, I consider that my last session with you. We rocked. I'm guessing we can treat that outburst as a confession?
Uh-oh, he's laughing again.
There's kind of sick desperation in it now, though. Well, have you been listening to today's trial?
Yes.
And you'll talk. You'll tell this court everything? I didn't want it to turn out this way, but I'm not the kind of lawyer that can overlook a crime. Today's trial was all for your benefit, you know. I see no reason why you should hesitate now.
I knew, from the beginning I knew.
Maki,
Situation I cannot explain, but money I needed. Very much money.
today's trial raises a delicate issue with our legal system. The only thing definite in a court of law is evidence. This is the golden rule. However,
It has become apparent that not all things can be tried by this standard.
should another case of this sort surface, we may have to consider an alternate system by which to administer justice. Anyway, Mr. Maki Tobai,
Yes?
I promise you will receive a fair trial by the laws of our country. And with regards to the current charges for the murder of Mr. Latouche, this court is prepared to announce a verdict.
I thank you. I only lie, but you see truth. You find truth.
He's not wearing the shades anymore.
Aw, he's so cute.
That's our job. Very well. This court finds the defendant, Maki Tobai. Not guilty. Court is adjourned.
I wonder what'll happen to Maki.
Well, he did smuggle the cocoon out of Borginia. I guess there'll be another trial here.
All's well that ends well.
Daddy! I owe you both my thanks.
Lamarar?
Is something wrong?
I'm sorry, Maki was your partner on stage, your friend.
Yes, I thought of him as my own son. Even now I do, yet... Something got a hold of him, something evil, I see that.
I'm curious about something here. Ah, she's 40. Okay.
How old is Maki?
14.
Ah.
And he must pay for what he's done. Is that not how it should be?
I'm still sorry.
Do not be sorry, you have given me courage.
Courage?
I am considering an eye operation.
Here's my suggestion, actually.
You mean you'll be able to see again? It's funny, I have always been afraid of the light. Light seems so harsh, so unforgiving.
According to the doctor, Lamoire lost her sight due to some kind of accident.
An accident?
As you know, I suffer from amnesia. I feared that if I could see, perhaps it would open my eyes to the truth I have been running from. I was scared.
You know what changed her mind? Hearing your defense in there today. She could feel your gaze, unwavering, always looking straight at the truth.
If the light returns to my eyes, I think I would take up painting.
Painting?
That's right, she's the landscape painter in sound, after all.
I will paint the two of you, I promise. Woohoo! I can't wait, Lamrar.
I owe you my thanks too, Apollo.
Thanks, Mr. Wright, but for what?
You reminded me I need to hurry things along. On my secret mission, that is.
Right, your secret mission.
Apollo, Trucy, I hope that we will meet again someday soon.
You bet, me too.
So, like a ballad, the trial flowed on and on until it came to the end. Thanks to the trial, the guitar Serenade was a huge hit. Prosecutor Gavin's even more dazzling to look at now. But there's something I want to say to that guy. Next time you write a ballad,
Have them catch the killer at the end? Alright, saving progress. Alright, so when we resume, we will be playing Turnabout Succession, which will be the final case of Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. However, we will not be streaming this next Wednesday. I haven't decided on what I'm going to be streaming, but it'll be either a one-shot or some kind of a filler stream that I've been meaning to catch up on, but just haven't. So we will see what happens then. Apollo Justice, silly Chrome. Oh my goodness. Yeah, thank you. Let's see if there's anyone online to raid. Alright, looks like we can raid Mildred the Monk. So,
Hey, Mildred.
alright. So see you guys on Sunday with hopefully the conclusion of Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Future Redeemed, and then see you on Wednesday with whatever I end up deciding to stream then. And in the meantime, this is Dr. Novelle signing out for the evening. Y'all have a good one. Let's begin the raid.